Have you ever wondered why does everyone now wants to smell like a marshmallow and look like a whipped cream on top of a cake? Perfumes are called yum, sugar, and sweet tooth. Fashion colors and textures resemble fancy pastry. So is this just a new level of food obsession or is something deeper going on? To answer that, let's look what was happening shortly before this Candyland boom began. And this was the mood. The 2010s will always be remembered for quiet luxury and optimization. No fluff, no decor, no obvious bid for attention. If I had to pick one fashion designer who shaped that dominant 2010s aesthetic, that would be Phoebe Philo for Celine, who quote-unquote introduced the new type of femininity to the world. But it wasn't treated as just new, it was treated as more evolved. Suddenly, visible glamour felt old, flashy, and even embarrassing. And fashion media often reinforced that idea. Designers who kept working with 2000s sensuality were often criticized aggressively, as if every designer now had to become another version of Celine. So, this new type of femininity became kind of a cultural expectation for everyone who wanted to appear modern, intelligent, self-sufficient, and just be taken seriously. And then I realized that this had happened before. If you read this Vogue US from 1996, the tone feels familiar. Grunge, retro, deconstruction here are treated as childish and redundant, all design experiments ridiculed. Neutral, expensive basics served as the visual ideal. But as we know, fashion in the following decade turned out to be anything but restrained. By the same token, in the 2020s, the pendulum swung back again. So while it doesn't look like the 2000s, it shares something essential with them. Indulgence is no longer something to hide. Gradually, objects around us started borrowing from food. Key organizers and earrings shaped like ice cream cones. Perfume bottles look like desserts and candies. Not because adults suddenly became childish. To me, it looks almost like a coping mechanism. When life becomes faster, more digital, and increasingly optimized, people start craving little rituals that feel physical and comforting. A fancy dessert is rarely eaten mindlessly. You stop, you look at it, you smell it, you savor it. Same with perfumes. This softness, flavor, and sweetness started functioning like tiny pauses in the middle of a marathon. No wonder that marshmallow perfumes, creamy fabrics, and edible colors all started feeling luxurious at the same time. And modern lifestyles started borrowing from that same logic. Not just aspiration, but experience. Mood, texture, color, flavor, sensory pleasures. I remember I was almost skeptical of these confectionery perfumes when they started to emerge, and had no big interest in them. I ordered this popular Gourmand perfume just recently, and only because I collect perfumes. And this one proved to be a real trendsetter. But then it grew on me, not just as a perfume, but as a whole mood of comfort and relaxation. And eventually it inspired me to create this set. I'd had that fabric for some time, I'd had this lace for a while. It had never come to my mind to mix them together. Until I obtained that bottle. This color combo is not something I would ever come up with myself. And I love wearing them together, this set and that fragrance around the house, just to create that same feeling of Saturday morning comfort and ease. And maybe that's why this whole confectionery aesthetic became such a strong trend. Not only as a reaction to clinical luxury and sterile chic, but also as a way of creating little rituals that slow life down. Thank you for staying with me until the end of the video, and I'll see you soon.